Good morning, everybody. It is good to see you. It's me, Heather Nichols, for the Tailored Expressions Live. Let's just let everybody take a couple of, maybe a minute or so to get in. Again, good morning. I'm coming to you from central Minnesota. Obviously, Tailored Expressions is down north of Des Moines in Ankeny, Iowa, but I come to you live from central Minnesota. I see lots of you popping in already. It's very good to see you. Good morning, Sherry and Madge and Christine and Carol and Jennifer. And good morning. I think that's Whitney there. Maybe it's Charlie. Maybe it's Rachel. I don't know. It's always a guess. So good morning, everybody. It's very good to see all of you. Welcome to our live today. So the weather, it's finally summer. I think the last time I saw you all was May, and it has been a busy couple of weeks for me. We're still trying to sell our house. We'll get there. It just takes time. And in the meantime, I am cleaning everything all of the time. I am between house showings and all of that stuff. It actually has been pretty busy. And then driving my cats around in the vehicle. They are not fans of that. Our cats do not like that. My dog is used to riding in the car, but my cats do not. And it's very loud in our car as we are trying to kill time while the house showings are going on. So again, what do? It'll happen, don't worry. And the weather, it has been cold in Minnesota, but this week it is finally warming up. We actually have heat advisories this weekend and can hopefully enjoy some nice weather. We haven't been really swimming or anything like that. I mean, some people have. It's Taylor. Good morning, Taylor. It's good to see you today. And all of you. Carol from Iowa and Sandra from Maryland. It's good to see all of you. So yes, I hope you're all doing well. I know summer sometimes when crafting comes along, it kind of maybe slows down because you're trying to enjoy the weather. Like I said, it's been kind of cool here in Minnesota, so I have been crafting quite a bit. But it is not the time to stop crafting, you guys. Before we know it, the holidays are going to be here. And I only say that because we were wrapping up loose ends on holiday things that are starting here at the end of July, if you can believe that. I don't know if you heard, I'm teaching a class at the Tailored Expressions Studio in July. I would love to have you there. We're going to do some Christmas card crafting, kind of that kickoff to Christmas in July and Christmas crafting that starts happening. I mean, it really is one of those things when people are like, well, what are you working on? Christmas, Halloween, all of that. But we have to start now so that we can get going on all of that. So yeah, I see some of you talks about your cat. Christine says your cat hates the cars. She meows so loud. Yeah, I have a couple of cats and one of them is very upset about being in the car, if you can imagine. So anyway, so what's going on in Tailored Expressions land this week? Well, June is our Fearless Leader Taylor's birthday month, and so we have a birthday bash release happening this week to celebrate that. Plus, birthday cards are something I always need. I would say when I go into my stash, that one is the thinnest because I think then we're in the boxes looking for birthday cards all of the time. And I know that's an area that I constantly need to refresh. And this week with the new products, there is lots of fun refreshing that you can do to refill that area in your card stash. So, and plus everybody has birthdays, so it's fun to celebrate. And what better way to celebrate and share joy than to create cards. So yes, and then Christine actually brought up another thing. If you are interested in joining us in person in October, stamp trade registration started this week. So there are two options. You can come see us in person in Des Moines, Iowa, which is always a good time. I love meeting all of you in person and crafting with all of you in person. So come stamp with me, come stamp with all of us down in Des Moines. I would love to see you. Taylor, if you're listening, my daughter Hannah wants to come back. We'll talk about that later. She's like, do I get to go again? She had such a great time meeting so many of you and crafting along with you as well. So I hope you guys come. If you don't have anybody to come with, please come anyway because you're going to meet friends and just come say hi. It's just all around a good time. The other option, if travel isn't something that you can do right now, and that's okay, is we have the virtual staycation option where one of the big Stamp Joy classes you can take online in November. So, and that is always a good time too. I love our virtual option that we give when we do Stamp Joy in the spring. It's virtual, and that means no matter where you are in the world, you can connect with us, connect with other people who like to do the same thing as you, and learn new things and make crafts. It's all So much fun. There is an early bird period here where you get a bit of a discount on both the in-person and the staycation. That goes through July 1st, so take advantage of those savings if you want to join us. So lots of you talking about Stamp Joy, and Joanne, you said this will be your second in-person Stamp Joy. You're super excited, and you know there's always super fun things and excitement and surprises that happen during Stamp Joy. It's really fun to go out and see everybody and do that. So it'll be fun. So that's what's going on. The birthday bash, which I was talking about that and then I stopped talking about it. There is a gift with purchase while supplies last if you spend $75 or more. So it's the little sprinkles. I think I've got them right here actually too. These little sparkle party sprinkles, which I use these on one of my cards that I did, the little card with the cake, and they are super fun. They're shimmery. They're perfect for sprinkles. They're going to be perfect for shakers. I can see myself using these a lot. Baby cards, birthday cards, spring cards, any sort of celebration cards. So super fun to have that a part of your collection. So take advantage of that while supplies last. And then if you missed Taylor on Tuesday, make sure you can go back and watch the replay if you want to see what she created. She used the icing on the cake collection to create a card. And then Thierry is on our YouTube channel this week, and she used the watercolor panels, which I'm also going to use the watercolor panels today. And I think if you go watch Thierry's and you watch mine, you're going to get two different approaches of how you can create with these watercolor panels. So I love that we have all of these different options to do with the same product. So make sure you check it out. So good. Lots of you still popping in. Good morning. Let's see. Next week. Should we talk about next week? Because it is the last week of the month, which means it is time for our card making kit, which means I might have a sneak peek for you. I designed this kit as well, and I love the theme of this one. This is one that Taylor, I've been secretly hoping that this was gonna pop up. I know we kind of have, like when we do our brainstorming, it's popped up now and again. It finally is coming to fruition. I'm super excited about it. So here is a sneak peek at what is coming your way next week. If you take a look, we're doing all things garden and seed packet and veggies and super summer fun cards. So that was your peek. I hope you guys tune in. If you are on the Fans of Tailored Expressions Facebook page, there are going to be more sneak peeks coming to you this weekend. And also next week on Tuesday, when the kit comes, Taylor will be live showing you all of the stuff. There'll be all of the reveals and sneak peeks and all of that stuff. So make sure you pop in for all of that. And then I'll be back actually next week again, and we're gonna do some crafting with some of the stuff. Oh, that's right, I've got some little things too that I can show you. Look at how cute these are. So I'm gonna show you what I created with those, how I created them. So we're gonna do that next week. So I hope you guys love it. It's super fun. I love how this kit turned out. So I hope you have your click button ready to add to cart next Tuesday. So yes, Taylor says, love the kit next week. We can't wait to share it with everybody. This is one where when I was creating it, some of these kits, they fall together so easily. And this one was just like, ooh, what about this? Ooh, what about this? And there were so many ideas, and we had to pick and choose what to actually put in the kit. So you guys, we have ideas bursting at the seams with this one. And I think you're gonna love the kit. And I think that's not gonna be the end of what you see with the kit. So stay tuned for all of that. We're super excited about that happening next week. So let's talk about again today with the birthday bash. Let's go flip down to my desk. I see someone talking about ice cream. I am going to read that. Oh, Susan says the Big Dipper in Beaver Bay is open this summer. Ooh, I have had ice cream there before. She's talking about the North Shore in Minnesota, one of my favorite places in the world. I have eaten at the Big Dipper in Beaver Bay many times. Actually, just was up on the North Shore a couple weeks ago up in Grand Marais. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. If you ever get to Minnesota, the North Shore should be on your list as something to see in our beautiful state. So yes. All right, so here's the card we're gonna create today. I'm gonna use the watercolor panels. We're gonna do some coloring, and then we're gonna create this really fun, sparkly shaker card. This is another new item, these little cute holographic stars in there. I'm trying to find the little container for that. Silver holographic stars, I love these. I love how much sparkle and shine they give to them. And we're gonna watercolor these cute candles. The watercolor panels come, I'm dropping things on the floor, in a packet. These are ready to watercolor. They're printed and ready to go, so you can just watercolor away on them. There are 4 designs in the packet. We've got the candles, which we're gonna do today, so I'm gonna pull that one out. We got this cute little presents. We've got these adorable balloons, and of course the happy birthday that you can paint with any kind of watercolor medium that you want to for your projects. I love these options because it gives you a nice sampling of things to try. If you don't want to like totally commit to a bunch of watercoloring, this gives you just enough to get a taste of what that's all going to be. So, plus I love these. These are just on hand. Like I said, I need lots of birthday stuff. And so we are going to watercolor with the liquid watercolors. I've got my color line up here. We have guava, candy corn, pineapple, pea pod, and tropical punch. So I kind of put together my own little rainbow here. And then I've also got a palette to put these into. You can use anything that's non-porous. This is a little ceramic dish I think I picked up at an art store a while ago. You can find these at lots of craft and art supply stores. I've got water here. You could use a water brush with water in it. When I'm painting actual images, I tend to like using the water cup with the brush. You can use a water brush like this if you want to watercolor as well. That will work as well. We're going to use that to splatter here in a little while. And what else? Oh, I'm using a brush. This is a round brush. I'm using a round number 4 brush. You could probably use a 6 as well. If you, there's a package of paintbrushes on the website, and I believe a round brush is included in there. I can't remember exactly what size it is, but that is going to work. This is one I picked up at an art store. Maybe you have some that you picked up at craft stores as well. So Rachel says she loves watching me watercolor. Well, that is exactly what we're gonna do today. Okay, I'm gonna set my card up here to be kind of a guide for coloring, because I do think one of the things that takes the longest sometimes is choosing your colors and where they're gonna go on your project. And I've already done that. So I'm just gonna kind of copy what I already did and kind of talk through this. I'm gonna do a fairly flat color painting on the actual candles and stuff, and we're gonna do a little bit of color blending in the actual candle flames. But so we'll talk about that as we get going. So I'm gonna get my brush wet, and we're gonna start with guava. So I'm just gonna add some drops into my palette. Now I tend to work with my liquid watercolors full strength, and kind of dilute with water with my brush as I go. If you don't want to work with such intense color, you can absolutely use like a water dropper or something like that to kind of add water to your watercolor to dilute it down. So I'm going to pick up my color with my brush, and like I said, I kind of am going to do that. And we're going to do fairly flat color. The one thing I am going to do, well, first I'm going to paint in the guava here. Let's start with this first little section, and I'm just going to paint this in. Now while this wet, if you wanted to add more intense color to an area to add shading, you can pick up a little bit of additional color and kind of dab it in, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. I'm just going to paint. Sometimes it's just the painting. You don't need to get fancy with all of the techniques and things like that. I mean, that you can if you really want to. I think there is, because maybe you're thinking, why aren't you just coloring this in with markers or something like that? Which I totally could, but there's just something about using a brush to paint in an image. There's just kind of a meditative, kind of soothing aspect to it. So I'm just going to paint in these stripes with the guava. Now, if you look at my original card here, you can see that then I'm going to add pineapple in here, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to let that dry, because if I start painting in the pineapple color, if it touches any of this guava here, it's going to bleed into it. So we want this to dry. We want this to dry before we move on to the next color. So I'm going to find another part of my picture that I'm going to add guava, which is this striped candle here, and I'm going to paint those colors in there. This one I'm going to skip every 2 because I'm going to add 3 colors into this one. And again, I'm just painting in this color, so I'm skipping 2 stripes this time. Let's see if I can do that. I am known for not doing that, even though in my head, that's exactly what I want to do. I'm very good at not following the plan, just because I'm so caught up in what I am doing. So far, so good. Again, I'm painting this in. So there's that one. And again, we're gonna let that dry before we move on to any of the other things. Now the next candle, I do have the yellow kind of pineapple dots in that there. And I'm gonna wait and do the yellow first. So I'm gonna move on and do these pink polka dots here and these stripes there. And I just feel like my chances of bleeding are less if I start with that lighter color first. Now, I guess on the candle I did it, but I think when you're talking about color that's surrounding another color, that's where I'm just gonna take a minute and do the yellow first here in just a moment. Colored in these little dots, and then I'm gonna do these stripes on this candle with the guava. And this one I'm doing every other stripe, so I don't have to skip more than one. Now, of course, you could choose any kind of color rainbow that you wanted. Guava tends to be a favorite of mine when I'm starting a rainbow. You could start with cherry pop, you could start with one of the other pinks, like dragon fruit or lollipop. I don't think we have dragon fruit in the watercolors now that I'm thinking about it, but I believe we do have lollipop. Okay, so right now, that's what I've got. I've got a really intense stripe there. I'm gonna go back and just kind of layer a little bit more color on some of these other stripes. That is one thing to keep in mind when you are watercoloring with the liquid watercolors, is they definitely dry lighter than what they appear when you start adding them to your piece. This one I'm just gonna leave like that. You're about saying, why didn't I start with yellow on all of them? I don't know. I think I just grabbed that guava and went. So we're gonna start with that pineapple. I'm actually gonna add a little bit more. Pineapple, to me, I go through it really quickly. Sometimes I can't explain why I did something the way I did. And I don't even think when I started this that I did the pineapple first. So I'm gonna start here because this one is going to have yellow stripes or pineapple stripes going down. And I guess when I was thinking about color bleeding, then I was just worrying about these polka dots. And I think I was thinking too, like if my color wasn't completely dry on that in between and I touched it with my brush, like I said, it's gonna suck the color in and kind of dirty up that pineapple, which I don't want. This one is, I believe, and I made a mistake on my original one. I'm gonna skip 2 because we're gonna do 3 colors on this one. I'll show you what I did on my other one. Does it really matter? Like when you look at it, and really if you think about it, if the card recipient is gonna look at it, are they gonna catch what I did? Probably not. But if you look at the original sample here, obviously I intended to have 3 and that did not happen at the top of that candle. But now you see it, now you can't unsee it. But if I didn't point it out, well, maybe it is right. Now that I'm looking at it, it might be okay. Might be just how that color pattern goes. All right, we're gonna ignore that. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, we're gonna do some pineapple stripes on this last candle. And then we're gonna do, when I do those dots on that second candle next, I go back to the whole point of this is I want to keep my colors separated so that they don't bleed into each other. So you want to keep that in mind whenever you're painting with watercolor. When you're doing colors up next to each other, you want the one color, unless you want the bleeding. Sometimes you do, and we're going to do that up on the candle flames here in just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to grab the Tropical Punch. This is a little bit of an intense blue, so you might want to pull some extra water in there to pull that color out. So we're going to add the dots to this one right here. And of course, and I think I'm going to pull that out in just a minute, you can let this all air dry, or you can use your heat tool to dry your watercolor. That's fine. I am going to flip around and we're going to do kind of the top part here. So I'm upside down, but I don't want to lay my hand in any of the things that I just painted. So let's go ahead and do these candle flames. Maybe I'll zoom in just a little bit more. So I'm going to lay down the pineapple first on here. This is where I'm talking about we're going to add some color to this while it's still wet. So I'm going to grab the candy corn and add that to my palette. I just want a little touch of the candy corn. I don't want a lot on there. I'm just going to add that to the base here of that. And then you can use your brush. Sometimes if it's wet enough, it'll travel up on its own, but you can also use your brush and kind of dab that to get that kind of candle effect on there where I've got the orange, well, it'll be this way. So orange at the bottom of the candle and the pineapple at the top. I would still, Deneen, I would still let the pineapple dry all the way. If I don't want a color to bleed into it, then I need to let that dry as well. So the whole thing too with the watercolors, if you haven't watercolored a lot, you need to actually just sit down and play with it. Number one, you're going to get to know how it works and how it feels, and you're going to learn what works and doesn't work when you start playing with the color. And I will say too, like these are liquid watercolors, and while watercolor has a lot of the same properties, liquid watercolor works a little bit differently than like a cake watercolor or a tube watercolor. Different brands work different from each other. So you have to get to know what your materials that you have, and that's how you're going to get better and get successful at creating the look and effects that you want. So again, I'm doing that layer of pineapple, then I'm dabbing in that candy corn, so it kind of blends up into there. So there I am doing kind of a wet on wet technique to get that blend of orange and yellow. I'm adding in that pineapple, dabbing in that candy corn, and when that's still wet, that color is going to travel kind of up the water. I need a little bit more candy corn there and create that flame effect. All right, let's keep going here. We got a couple more flames left. This is all drying while we're waiting. You can see like the yellow stripes here are dry. These are still wet here. These I think are pretty dry. Let's see, I need candy corn. I just laid down that color. So for the most part, while you're working on other parts of your panel, or you're drawing your image or whatever, it's giving plenty of time to dry. Unless you're working super wet or you want to work quickly or something like that. And there's nothing wrong with using a heat tool. Maybe you're just impatient and you want it to be done. And that's okay. This one is just kind of dark there. Ooh, I've got a little bit more water. So if you've got maybe too much water, grab a little bit of paper towel. You can soak some of that water up with that paper towel. This is also if you made a mistake and you wanted to correct something. Like let's say I didn't like how that flame was turning out. I've got a little thing of paper towel and I'm just gonna dab it down right on that flame, and you can see that I just lifted all of that color off of there, so I can redo that area. That works best while everything is still wet right after you put the color down, but you can lift color after it's dried too. It kind of depends on the color, how intense it is, all of that. Yes, this is not a super mass production thing. It's kind of like too when you're coloring with alcohol markers and that sort of thing. I think mass production is more, you know, stenciling can be mass production, or if you've got some stamps that are solid that kind of do some of the coloring work for you, that's when you get into, that's quicker and you can get a lot done fast. This could be a nice thing for you to bring somewhere with you to color, like if you've got to sit and be somewhere for a while. Pack a little kit of your watercolors. I know it's maybe a little bit harder. This is where that's where a water brush would be helpful, because then you wouldn't need a cup of water or anything. Although if you're my daughter, which she loves to paint, she just brings all her stuff. She sets up all her cups and everything. Okay, I'm gonna paint in, there's these little circles up here, and I'm just gonna add some pineapple into those little dots, like they're the little kind of fun sparks that are coming up from the candles. I guess they could be confetti too. I kind of saw them as the little sparks from the candle, like sparkles, which I guess I don't know if I would want my candles to spark that much, but you know. Okay, so let's flip back this way. Our color on our first candle is dry, and then my stripes going in there are gonna be the pineapple. So I'm gonna go ahead and paint those in with that. And again, because that guava is dry, I need a little bit more. Susan, you're planning to color on your Canadian road trip. That is a great time to do coloring. I hope the roads are nice and smooth for you. Although I like to bring stuff too, like we camp a lot, and so bringing things to do in the camper, like in the evening, when you're kind of in between that travel time, that's always a good thing. Okay, I haven't added my green yet, but my little blue dots on this one are dry, so I'm adding pea pod into my palette. Claudia is asking if you don't have watercolors, can you use Prisma color pencils and Gamsol? You can. This paper definitely has a texture to it. So I guess I haven't tried Prismas and Gamsol on this watercolor paper to see how that goes. But you can definitely try it. I mean, if anything too, you could do, you know, stamped images on sugar cube cardstock. I know that works with Prismas and Gamsol just fine. Maybe somebody, if you've tried it on the watercolor paper. And these panels that are printed, they're printed on kind of the more textured side, because there's a side that's smoother and there's a side that's more textured. So when you color with watercolor, or with colored pencils, you're gonna get a more textured look versus if you were coloring on something smooth. All right, so I'm coloring this in with that pea pod color, and I am not doing a super great job of staying in the lines over here. I might try to dab that up a little bit. Let me just get this bottom part, because I feel like I can get this bottom part. Although, like I said, once you get everything kind of done, oop, it did pick it up. So I can fix that side. Oh, and I put my hand, I stuck my hand right in there. So let's see if we can lift that up and fix that. I added a little bit of water to my piece of paper towel, but as you can see, I'm lifting most of it. This is gonna be the bottom of my shaker, so I'm not super worried about it being perfect. We're also gonna add some splatters, so that will definitely help kind of disguise any imperfections. Okay, let's see here. Where was I? Okay, we're gonna do on this candle here, we're gonna add green in between the pineapple stripes. So this is that pea pod again. So we just colored in that polka dot one. Let's get these stripes colored. All right. Let's see here. 2 more stripes here, and then we're gonna do kind of this multicolored candle here, which is that next one where I had to skip the 2 stripes. All right, so we're gonna do both the pea pod and the other color, but we're gonna do one at a time. Same thing, we're gonna let that dry in between. I'm gonna start with this tropical punch here for the stripes on here. Just keeping in my head that every tropical punch stripe goes above a guava stripe. And that should keep me on the straight and narrow, hopefully. Okay, and then we're gonna add the stripes in here. And of course, I think this is still wet, so I'm gonna wait on that one. And actually, I still have a little bit of wet down in those polka dots there. I just dropped some water here. I actually think these guava stripes and these guava polka dots I just made a nice big mess right there. Oh well. Okay, so let's paint in the tropical punch on this polka dot one here with the guava polka dots, because those are ready to go. It's like when you're doing your brush too, you want it to be wet, but not dripping wet, but not too dry. So it's a constant kind of adjustment of how much water is in the brush. We're getting there. This image has a lot of little nooks and crannies to work on, for sure. Getting to the bottom of this, going around. I kind of, if you've noticed, I'm kind of going around the polka dots and then filling in the rest. All right, we're getting there. Remember, we started with no color. Okay, we're gonna add pea pod stripes into this guava candle here. I may have to grab my heat tool here in just a moment to get the rest of the coloring done, because my pineapple is still looking kind of wet. Two more stripes here. Okay, I'm going to grab my heat tool so we can move on to the next colors. Let me see, I did not, of course, pull it out like I I should have. And my stamp area, because we're showing our house, is not organized like I normally would be. Can I find my heat tool? Oh my goodness, here it is. I made a basket of embossing powders on my heat tool and I couldn't find it. I was trying to be organized. Okay. All right, so I'm going to dry this off with my heat tool so that we can move on to the next colors. I love the discussion of summer travels. Selling our house, we don't have a whole lot of summer travel plans going on right now. Let's see here. I've got a couple little spots that are still wet. There we go. All right, so let's start with this polka dot one. We're gonna paint in that color around with the guava. Ooh, and I have this stripy one too that's ready to go. My heat tool just curled my cardstock just a little bit while it was drying it. That's kind of something that will happen, but it's okay. Things will flatten out in the end when we get it all put together in the card. We're painting in this candle with the guava. Then we'll finish this one next here with the stripes. We're gonna add in the pea pod stripes there. I think the thing I like about a round brush for this is really the brushes are definitely can hold a lot of color, but it's got that nice point on the end. So even though this brush doesn't look like the tiniest brush ever, it still gets into these little areas so nicely. Okay, there's the guava. Now we need pea pod to add into those stripes. We're coming down the home stretch of candle painting. And of course, you could simplify your coloring. You could do, even though there are stripes and polka dots on there, you could do them all one color. You could use a gel pen to add details. It's kind of up to you how you would like to do it. I decided to be super colorful. We have one birthday this month in our family, and that is my sweet Tacey. She's turning 25. So we will be getting together with her. Her birthday is next week. We're going to be having a party for her at the end of next week and having her stay over. She was over last night for dinner. She's doing so good, you guys. Paint in that stripe. And I have tropical punch stripes for this last candle. Deneen, I am not in my new house yet. We're in the process of selling this one, and it's been several weeks and just a process. Been very busy with house showings and things like that. I think the biggest thing, you guys, is I have this working craft area in my basement. And so I have to keep it clean, but also keep it so I can just jump right back into my projects, if that makes sense. And I'm sure people come down here and are like, whoa, it is the cleanest it has ever been. I should be good and keep it this clean when I'm in my new space. But as soon as this house is sold, then we can begin building our other house. All right, I have one section left with the green. I'm gonna hit it with the heat tool just one more time here. Thanks, Rachel, for birthday wishes for Miss Casey. I have to share kind of a funny story. So one of Tacy's housemates had a birthday here at the end of May, and we were over to help celebrate, which I was very excited we were invited. And because it's, you know, a group home, they don't really allow candles, right? So Tacy she's nonverbal, but she understands, you know, birthday parties, and when she is asking for people to sing for a birthday, she goes, because she knows that it is time to sing that birthday song, right? So we told her it was time for cake, and she came over and she made her birthday singing noise, and we all sang to her housemate. And then, of course, they didn't allow candles on the cake, but when we were all done singing, Tacy just started blowing and blowing, because she was like, well, where are the candles? Which is so fun because it's showing her understanding. So that is one of our reasons we're definitely going to do her party here, because then she can blow out her candles, make sure she has her candles to blow out. The cake was very pretty and everything. And like I said, everybody sang and she had gifts and everything. But that's just something you can't do there, is have candles. Okay, let's do kind of a final hit with the heat tool, and then I'm going to add splatters. Let me zoom out just a little bit here. Super fun and festive. So I think that answers your question, Taylor, when you're asking about if she's excited about her birthday. We did poll her when she was over for dinner last night, and we said, do you want a ice cream cake or regular cake? And she picked ice cream cake. So that is what we're gonna have, which is her favorite. It's our family's favorite, let's be real. Okay, let's kind of flatten this out. Let's go ahead and add splatters. Now again, you saw me hit it with the heat tool because again, if anything is wet, it's gonna take those splatters and spread them out, because this is also a liquid watercolor. This is that chocolate truffle liquid watercolor. Have stars stuck to me. So let's go ahead and add splatters, and then we're gonna put this together in a shaker card. So there's some chocolate truffle splatters, and I'm just gonna squeeze out my brush to clean it out. And then I'm going to use that Dr. Peach Martin's bleed proof white ink. Pick that up with my brush. Tend to kind of just work it right on the lid there. You can use a palette as well. And then let's tap to get a few white sprinkles in there. And of course, when you're doing this, the white is very subtle, but I love the extra texture that it gives. You know me, I love everything rustic and splattered and, you know, anything kind of to distress, but not too much distress. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our frame ready for our shaker card. So there's our panel all ready to go with all of the splatters. It's ready to be made into a shaker. Let me clean up this surface quick and grab my die cut machine, because we've got to cut that frame. So we're going to use, this is the largest frame from the Frame in Frame 3 die collection, which looks like this. So I'm going to grab that frame. This is the size of an A2, so it's perfect for a shaker card. Actually, any of the frames are. But this one, I think, when you're doing that full panel shaker, is a go-to for sure. So we're going to cut this out of a piece of guava cardstock. This is cut just a little bit larger than A2, obviously, to get that full cut. Tacy would she would want us to sing the birthday song over and over again. She loves music in general. Music is a huge thing for her. I think that's the only thing I need to cut is that frame. And then I have a piece of window acetate here that we're going to add kind of to, because we're going to create that compartment for the shaker. So we've got to close up that opening on the frame. Let me grab my tape runner so I can add adhesive to the back of here. Okay, get my sticky off of here. The best part about the candle story, actually, when you know Tacey a little bit more, is she used to be terrified of candles. Just terrified of candles. And so it took many years to get both my girls did not like candles, get them used to candles. And Tacey really couldn't blow out candles till she was about 12. So that first year that she could blow out candles was a really big deal for us. And it's just something sweet now that she loves birthday candles and cake and blowing out candles. Okay, so now I've got my frame backed with my window acetate. Let me grab my panel again here. We'll pull that back in. And one of the things I need to add is a sentiment. I do have some ready to go. These are foiled using the foil it pack for the Happy Hooray. There's the stamp set. I actually need to get some more foil panels, so I need to add that to my list. There's the sentiments and the Happy Hooray. This is definitely a go-to birthday set for me. I love the style of the font and I love all of the little sayings. So I foiled some up already. This one I used the Make-A-Wish, and I foiled it with the silver. This is the silver shimmer. So it's kind of got that same holographic look as those holographic stars in the background. So I thought we would add like Hooray, It's Your Day on this one. And of course I've got some other ones too. There's the Happy Birthday to You. Birthday wishes would also be super cute at the top there. I love getting, whenever I'm doing sentiments, whether I'm foiling or stamping, these are from Sentiment Staples. This Happy Birthday, this was on the cake card that I shared this week. I love getting ready multiples because then I have lots of choices when I'm actually making my card, and I'll put these back in the envelope so later when I'm crafting and I'm looking for sentiments, these are ready to go. So future me will be super happy that I got all of these sentiments ready. All right, so let's add a little adhesive on the back of that sentiment. I did stack this up so it's a little bit thicker and it'll stand up just a little bit more. So that's just a few additional die cuts there. Let's just add that right about there onto the background. So cute. All right, so then we need to raise this up to create that lift so we have plenty of room for all of our shaker stars to go around, and that is done very easily with foam sticky strips. These have definitely been, I've said this before many times, the game changer for shaker cards are these foam sticky strips because you can form them around different shapes and they're just the perfect height or the perfect width, everything. Okay, let's peel these off and we're just going to add those and make sure that our compartment is sealed all the way closed. Again, these are the foam sticky strips. I'm just trimming these with my scissors to fit around my opening. And again, whenever you have two pieces meeting, you don't want to have a gap. You want to have that completely sealed up. Taylor added a link. If you haven't seen the new products for the Birthday Bath release, check them out. Like I said, you can never have too many birthday things. I always need birthday cards. My birthday stash section of my card thing is the smallest of them all because that is the section we are constantly grabbing cards from. Okay, let's just snip here. That should be close. Now I am going to, I'm not going to take the top off when it's this large like that and I'm trying to kind of figure out, you can pour your shaker filling right here and then enclose it that way. or you can leave one of these sealed so that we can kind of put some in through the side. I'm going to take one of these off. This was a thing Susan Block did one time, and it was genius for lining up these A2 cards. Let me get this kind of ready to go. But then you have only one sticky side to deal with, and then she was lining it up like this way and this way. And once you have that one side sealed over there, just grab those paper pieces and pull, and you can just stick them down, and everything is lined up perfectly. So it's a simple idea. It's perfect for getting this lined up. Okay, so I've got all of my sides. My top is not sealed shut. I can open that up. And so I'm gonna take my stars, which I just misplaced, and let's grab, I don't really wanna do it this way. Scoop it this way, this is gonna take too long. Let's just pour them in. And it doesn't take a lot. You don't have to fill up this whole thing with stars, just enough so that you have plenty to shake around. I'm gonna do just a few more. And I'm always of the opinion that, I mean, I don't mind using lots of stars. Okay, that's probably good. I still have plenty of stars in here. I filled two kind of fuller shaker cards. I have plenty of stars. Plus I can order more. Let's get those in there. And then once I've got that in there, I can peel that last strip out and seal that top. And there is all of those shakies in there. So cute. Right, finally we need a card base. So I've got a toffee card base because I didn't use toffee on the card, so then I put toffee on the card base. And let's line that up. I tend to line up my top edge first. And there it is. So now I have two sparkly shaker cards to add into my birthday card stash. I mean, how fun is this? Open this envelope with all of these sparkly stars. I love it. All right. Let me flip you up to the top again. Hello. So here we go. I have two sparkly birthday cards created with the watercolor panels. How much fun are these to add to your birthday stash? You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget, sneak peeks for the kit are gonna be up on the Fans of Tailored Expressions Facebook page this weekend. Watch our social media so you can get all of the peeks and scoop. And next Tuesday, Taylor will be live at 10 a.m. Central. The store goes live at 9, so that's when you can start ordering, and we'll see you next week for all of the card kit fun. Lots of people are gonna make shaker cards. I love it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy this beautiful summer.